Welcome to Life Skills with Louie. Today we are talking about willfulness and willingness. If you haven't watched the introduction to the reality acceptance skills, please do so. It's helpful for understanding this skill. And if you haven't watched the introduction to connecting to calm, I encourage you to do that. It gives a framing for these sets of skills and a few tips. Finally, the introduction to the video series is very helpful for orienting you to all 5 sets of skills and when to use each. So to talk about willingness and willfulness, this is a simpler way to think about the skill of radical acceptance that we talked about, or another angle on it. We all have willfulness, and we all have the capacity for willingness. Willfulness is a survival mode. It is using will to barrel through life. And it is, just to say this very clearly, not bad. It was very useful. It may still be very useful if the situation is a survival situation. And when it was a survival situation in the past, we needed willfulness to survive. Living from survival is less fun and less ideal when it's possible to move out of it. Because sometimes we're no longer really in survival in the present moment, but it still feels that way because of all the feelings that come up. And that's where practicing moving from willfulness to willingness is useful. Ultimately, this practice is one that involves our thinking and our emotions and also our body, our somatic experience. And it's a really involved process. This is not something that's going to happen all at once, but it's something to be aware of and something that you can be working on, just like in the radical acceptance, the skill of turning the mind. This is a similar transformation. The first thing is about noticing how you do willfulness. In what ways are you willful in your life? Which is to say, you're using your will to push through and try to get what you think you want or need. But the issue with willfulness is many times the heart is not very open, and it's not so much about really making life better as much as it is fighting against something. So the first thing is to see, are you being willful in certain areas of your life? And are the areas of your life where you might be able to let go of willfulness? Sometimes you can't, like I said, if you're in a survival situation. But if it seems like perhaps you could let go of willfulness in certain situations, you have to work with the willfulness. You can't will yourself out of willfulness. Within the getting to great skills, in cognitive restructuring, dialogue restructuring is a great skill to work with willfulness, because you have to understand, where does it come from? What is the willfulness scared of? What pains is it protecting? Where did it come from? You have to hear that story, and you may need help from other people, like a therapist or friends, to help you with this. Getting to willingness is not meant to be something done fully alone. Willingness is a state of being awake and alert and alive to life and working with life. It has an open-hearted quality to it. There's more of a sense of emotional courage, and it's more generative. It is more creative than willfulness. Willfulness is more reactive. It's kind of using old patterns to sort of that to get through situations. But willingness is more creative and alive in the present moment, and ultimately can be much more effective to get what you want than these old scripts. But the key thing that I wanted to say with this is, if you have a lot of willfulness, getting help is key, because it is not a good idea to try to force willfulness away. It's protecting things for a reason, and it needs to be respected and heard and understood. And there needs to be a gradual process of learning new ways to be. So this is a little introduction to willfulness and willingness, and you can get to know what these two states feel like in your body. And just an awareness is a good start of, yeah, I'm being pretty willful today, or I'm really in a really willing space today. And we will do one practice in the next video to help bring this further into the body.